Karen Sweat, Joe Sison, Wanda Yanez, Andrea Wong, Darlene Anderson, John Gross.
President Grimes, Interim Superintendent Miller, and all board members, my name is Karen Sweat. Please turn to page 4, the graph General Fund Balance Trends. We have a budget problem. Please direct your attention to the red ending balance line. We are in a budget storm. Are we bankrupt? Is this ship sinking? Will we be bankrupt if we do not pink slip our classified as we have our teachers? Will we be bankrupt if we do not close 5 schools? No. And we'll show you that simply hoping for the best won't do. Hoping for the best is a bankruptcy of optimism. Hoping for the best is a bankruptcy of vision. We'll show you how.
Next speaker, please.
I'm Dr. Joe Sisson. I'm a parent of Phoebe Hearst. Please direct your attention to the green spending line on the chart, which is data directly obtained from the district. Even with $100 million of cuts in the last 7 years, we have managed to maintain a steady growth in our spending. Though it would be helpful to be able to separate restricted from unrestricted income and expenses, the district's current reports combine the two accounts, so we'll have to follow similarly. Many teachers and aides are paid with restricted dollars, so the combined approach continues to make the case for prudent cuts. In the current fiscal climate, we need to differentiate between past cuts to proposed spending increases and past cuts to actual spending. By not paying close attention to the details, we end up with budget that values supplies and consultant over classified support and teachers. Supplies and consultants over classified support and teachers? As an experienced medical administrator in the private and public sector, that doesn't sound right and doesn't make sense. Please think carefully. Do what is right for our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Wanda Yanez. Good evening, and thank you for your services, your dedication. I'm pleased to direct page 6. Pay attention to compare the first column and the last column. They are bolded with relevant numbers. They show that the total staff salary for those closest to the student all cost less today than they did 7 years ago. We can afford to keep our young talent. We have to stop throwing them overboard each year. We need to keep the teachers that are working directly with the student. Page 9 is your personnel benefit chart. Look at the slope of the green line. The slope shows how critical assumptions are to build our budget. They are currently assuming a rate of increase of about 7.5. This is the higher rate than our average of 6.55 and higher than 3.3% average of the past 3 years.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Wong, and I'm from Alice Burney. I teach 4th grade there. I'd like to direct your attention to the red line, which represents spending on supplies and equipment. The table below the chart shows a projected increase of $25.73 million more in materials and supplies, according to Code 4300, than last year. That was $25.73 million. Does this add more value than teachers and other direct service providers? Questions have been asked concerning this item all year. If there are items budgeted at this amount for this and subsequent years, then please postpone those purchases until our finances improve. No purchase will be able to match the time and attention given by our teachers and support staff to the classrooms.
Thank you.
Thank you. Darlene Anderson, I'd like you to turn to page 11 on the chart. Services, please direct your attention to the red line. This line represents the spending on consultant services agreements. Many stakeholders have been asking about the cost of these third hired hands. Do outside providers add more value to our classrooms and than teachers and staff support that are already know each student by name? Do they add enough value justifying $3.4 million spending increase on consultants from the interim one budget and projecting spending in a total of $36 million on consultants by the end of the school year? We are told that spending is mostly on our students with special needs. Well, please show us the contracts. If one of them is Action Learning Systems, the new teaching crew members seem willing to give them a send-off on one of our lifeboats. But I'm going to say we've been asking about consultant contracts for a long time, and we know those contracts are held right here in the district, and we'd like to see them. Thank
Thank you,
you.
darling.
Good evening, Board President Grimes, Superintendent Miller, members of the board. My name is John Gross. Could I get you to take a look at page 12? Special reserves chart. Please direct your attention to how all three lines are a healthy distance above zero. These funds are in position to throw safety lines to the general fund, smaller and more nimble than their big parent, the general fund. They are running well in front of the storm winds. Even after recently graciously loaning or donating a total of $4 million to the general fund, all three have ample savings of between 1.6 and 3.7 million. They have not needed to bring their reserves below 1 million in the 6 years of storm reports available at this time. Still, keeping a total of $3 million of reserves between them, the awesome threesome could share another 4.3 million with the general fund. And there is even more good news on the horizon. The Coast Guard cutter stimulus is steaming.
Thank you. Of the next 10 speakers.